So this is level 2 of beginner pull-ups. I am taking a rope that can fit behind the door here. I tied 2 loops at the end and even added a little bit more rope because my rope wasn't long enough. And as you can see, allows me to lean back farther than level 1 pull-ups video, and it also gives me a greater range of motion because they're ropes, so I can do a lot of different motions. As you can see, I'm twisting my hands. You can pull through really deep. You can really pull your elbows back far. One thing I'm doing here is, if you notice, I'm pulling up quickly and then slowly controlling the way back down. And I experiment with different speeds of doing this exercise, and I experiment with different motions throughout the workout. It took me roughly 9 minutes to get a good pump with this workout in, so I suggest you do the same. At least give it a try. You could follow along with me. You could try it on your own. You could, again, I suggest doing this multiple times, like 3 times, at least 3 sets. If you could only have time for 1 set, that's just fine. Do 1 set. If you got time, try to get 5 sets in. And you should be feeling pretty sore after that. You could also, later on in the video, I attach handles, some rings to this setup, and it was fantastic. Just a piece of rope, maybe some like really tough string and some handles can do the job too. Look at that thin camping rope. Paracord, that's what it's called. Yeah, you could find that stuff at the dollar store even. Maybe we'll do a dollar store video, putting a setup together, going out and buying the rope. You could use straps, so maybe you got some toe straps. I seen some Walmart, they got some like $4 toe straps. Like, that would be perfect. Like the cheapest toe strap you can find. Toe strap's nice too because it's thin, unlike the rope is kind of round, so that kind of limits you a little bit on if my rope's going to fit behind the door or not. It's got to be thin enough. Again, keep your body tight and good posture. Try to really pull your elbows back all the way. Get a good stretch in. Again, if you have any workout goals that you want me to make a video on, let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll make a video about it. Some of my upcoming videos will be for shoulder health and elbow health. I recently had an elbow injury, so I'm going to make some videos about me working it out and how it goes. One thing I noticed is all these beginner workouts that I'm doing in these recent videos with the wall push-ups and these workouts, they are very helpful for my old injuries because they are at a level much easier to do without so much pain. Sometimes I'll try like my 1-arm pull-ups and it's just not happening on my left arm. I got a tweaked elbow, and I need to get it better before I could really train my one arm really hard on my left arm. And so I got to be patient and not train too hard with it and get that elbow going. So when you're working out, you might wonder, like, should I train my chest, arms, legs all the same day, or do I separate all that? A good rule of thumb is doing like a split training, like a 3-day, 4-day split training sessions where maybe one day you just do pulling exercises, and the next day you do pushing exercises, and the next day you do legs, and maybe the next day you even throw in cardio. I noticed about cardio is very helpful for my sore muscles. One time I was working out a lot without doing cardio, and I was getting pretty sore all over. And then one day I went and did some cardio, and boom, all the soreness went away. It was like a magic trick. I'm like, it made me realize how important the cardio was involving with all my workouts. Like, it didn't click in my head how important it was until that day. Because I was like, I noticed a big difference in my soreness of the rest of my body after doing the cardio. It's like it got everything moving, pumping throughout my body, and a lot of these sore muscles, they just eased up. And so think about that. You could do, if you're a beginner in cardio, one thing I did when I was overweight, 240 plus pounds and no muscle, I did walk jogging where I walked and jogged and walked and jogged. And it was really great. I just walked to catch my breath every time I jogged and got out of breath. It was a really easy system. And every time I went out, I just did a little bit farther. A few more steps, even if it was one more step, 10 more steps. I always went a tiny bit farther every time I jogged. And that was also just an easy way to see my progress. Eventually, it got so easy to jog at some point where I felt like I could just go forever. I could just jog forever without stopping. And it got pretty crazy. My knees and joints were failing before my endurance was failing. My endurance got so good doing that. Nowadays, I haven't jogged much, but I do like skateboarding cardio on like 2 tiny little skateboards. I'll have to show you. They're pretty tough. But there's endless ways to do cardio. You could bike ride, you can swim. The list goes on and on and on. You could do circuit training. You could do a lot of like jumping jacks and rope jumping. If you're bulking, you got to eat a lot of food. If you're cutting down, try to not eat so much. Thank you for subscribing, sharing, liking this video. Love you all.